Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later. Old Orchard Beach is back in the news, and it's been a while since I did a report on them. But here we are again, and they're still just as confused as before. The reporter actually said, and I quote, "The owners just don't know the exact cause of their dip in sales." I'm not joking. Summer has come and gone, and it's clear Canadians from Quebec and New Brunswick aren't showing up. Yet somehow, they're still unsure why their sales are down. I really don't even know what to say about that. So today, I have a full report out of Old Orchard Beach, along with another story about New Hampshire officials now planning to go to Canada to see if they can fix things. Oh, and stick around to the end. I just added this new report out of Australia, and all I can say is, I love our Australian cousins. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. It's actually a really good laugh and something we can all agree on. Before we get started, today's backdrop comes from Trinity, who sent this photo from Peggy's Cove. It's definitely on my bucket list of places to visit one day, so thank you, Trinity, for sending this over. Now, before we get into today's report, I think we're all aware about the school shooting that happened in Minneapolis. My heart does go out to all the families that were affected. If you're unaware of what actually happened, here's a quick clip from CBS.
Where's the shooter? Where's the shooter?
No one knows. Here in Minneapolis, school children scramble for safety during the latest mass shooting in America.
This time, it happened at a church where Catholic school students were celebrating Mass.
The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible.
It is incomprehensible, and it should never happen. There's something fundamentally wrong with the country's policies when kids have to be trained in school what to do if there's a shooter. When I was in school, the only drill we ever did was for earthquakes and fire alarms. But now, kids are practicing what to do when someone comes in with a gun. There's something deeply wrong here, and all of us on the outside, we know it. I don't see how this changes with the current gun laws the way they are. It's just sad that it keeps happening. My heart truly goes out to those affected in this senseless act. Now let's move on to the report from Old Orchard Beach.
Labor Day is 1 week away, which means summer is unofficially coming to an end.
Yeah, and that means that the busy season, that's winding down in places like Old Orchard Beach, where many enter this season worried about Canadian tourism. CBS 13's Max Williams joining us now live in OB. And Max, what are business owners there telling you?
Marissa and Greg, many businesses here don't know exactly how to feel about this summer. Some say it's been slow, while others say they've seen only a slight drop in sales. But a common theme among most tonight is that it's been an off summer.
Now, I've seen archive footage of Old Orchard Beach from last year around the same time. And compared to that, the streets in this report look a lot quieter. In the past, what I saw, the background would be filled with people, but this time behind this reporter, it feels noticeably emptier. So for our viewers in Old Orchard Beach or anywhere in Maine, does this look normal to you? And for those of you in Eastern Canada who may have visited in the past, is what you see in the background normally what you would see when you visit? I've never been myself, so I wouldn't know, but I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'm sure the rest of our audience would like to know as well if the background is actually normal.
It was a slower start.
This season has been a bit tough.
Mixed reactions tonight from business owners in Old Orchard Beach who say they've seen a change this summer season.
It was hard to determine when specifically we're going to have a huge influx of people.
Nathaniel Agam, who didn't want to be on camera, has owned the Hungry Seagull variety store for 6 seasons.
Money is tighter, people aren't spending as much.
Closer to the pier at the Mist, business has looked a bit different.
Since the 4th and the start of July and through August, we've been pretty steady.
As a whole, business leaders tell me they've seen an overall drop in sales.
We're slightly behind, but again, we're kind of putting it with the weather.
Yeah, it must be the weather that's keeping the tourists away. Just because, of course, us Canadians, we can't handle the rain or cloudy skies. That's a deal breaker for us, right? In case you didn't notice, I was trying to be sarcastic. Now, this is the second business owner I've seen that blamed it on the weather. But has the weather in Old Orchard Beach really been that different from previous years? Like back when Trump wasn't in office? So far, neither of these business owners have acknowledged the real reason Canadians aren't coming back. Hell, they haven't even acknowledged that Canadians aren't around. And honestly, I'm starting to think they don't even care whether we're Canadian or not, as long as we're putting money in the cash register.
The tourism at Old Orchard Beach comes from Canadian tourists, but according to data from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, in July, 277,000 Canadians crossed the border into Maine. That's a 28% decrease. compared to last July.
The bar crowd has continued to decline because I feel like everything is just kind of people go to bed earlier and things close earlier.
And as you can see, there's still a few people walking around Old Orchard Beach, but owners tonight just don't know the exact cause of their dip in sales and are just hoping for a more consistent season next summer. Live at Old Orchard Beach, Max Williams, CBS 13 News.
All right, let's hope.
See, I wasn't lying when the reporter actually claimed the owners just don't know what the exact cause of the dip in sales is. How can these business owners not see it? How can they really believe it's just the weather and has nothing to do with the rhetoric coming from their president? It's like driving a car and purposely crashing into something and then saying, I don't know how this happened. Okay, it's a shitty analogy, but you get what I mean, I hope. As a Canadian seeing this and hearing this, I think I need to learn not to let this stuff get to me so much. Sometimes it does. Maybe because I'm watching all these different reports. And it frustrates the hell out of me. Sometimes you just can't fix stupid. Now, going back to what I mentioned earlier in this report, look at the foot traffic in the background. I am actually really curious. Is this normal for the end of August? If you're from Maine, or you're in Canada that used to visit around this time, let us know in the comments. I'm sure everyone watching right now would like to hear your perspective on this. Now, moving on. New Hampshire is planning to send a delegation to Canada to talk about trade and the economy. I have to say, I'm really wondering how this is going to play out.
The New Hampshire Canadian Trade Council is the tip of the spear in efforts to maintain a strong business relationship between a state and a nation amid a trade war. Tensions are easing at the moment as retaliatory tariffs on goods under the USMCA are being removed, but the overall trade picture remains muddled.
We have heard of some international shippers that are actually halting shipments to the United States while they figure out what they need to do to comply with the new rules and regulations.
It's not just some countries. It's actually quite the list. Let me read it out to you. United Kingdom, Germany, Lithuania, Czech Republic, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Greece, Spain, Andorra, Portugal, Malta, Liechtenstein, France, Italy, Slovenia, Austria, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Belgium, Finland, Latvia, Estonia, Netherlands, Poland, Switzerland, Thailand, Singapore, South Korea, India, Australia, Japan, and New Zealand. Now, this is a few days old, so it may have expanded since. So it's definitely more than just some countries. And most likely, this list is only going to keep growing. No country is going to want to ship to the US without clear policies in place. And when those policies change, depending on the president's mood, you can't expect stability. That uncertainty drives businesses away, and is exactly why more countries are deciding not to bother with the US market.
The State Department of Business and Economic Affairs reported at the end of July that summer tourism coming from Canada is down more than 30%. Local officials say they're seeing it firsthand.
A lot of the businesses are not seeing the business they usually do during this time of year. At the beaches, there are actually open parking spaces, and people are a little concerned.
Government and business leaders will head north on September 8th for a multi-day trade mission aimed at fortifying the New Hampshire-Canada trade relationship.
You think building the local relationships can help some of those local tourism numbers bounce back?
Yeah, we totally do. And I think that's really what's going to overcome a lot of this. You've got a lot of national to national activity going on, but we still have that really strong connection, culturally between Canada and New Hampshire.
Had a strong connection with Canada, not have. I'm genuinely curious to see if this guy has ever spoken to a Canadian about the current climate, to get the opinions from Canadians like you and me, not just from our government. I had a special connection with Washington State myself. I used to cross the border all the time, picking up packages, going to Bellingham for lunch, or spending a weekend in Seattle. I had a connection with Washington State, but not anymore. Hell, I even did a story on the package parcel place that I used to go to for 10 years, and I basically said goodbye to him. And that's exactly what this guy is missing. Opinions from Canadians like you and I on what we really feel. I'm sure those in Eastern Canada feel the same way about New Hampshire as I did with Washington State. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me on this.
The work to strengthen ties between New Hampshire and Canada won't stop when this trade mission ends. In fact, the state is planning to boost its efforts to educate local businesses that are ready to start exporting to help them make those connections across the northern border.
We'll train New Hampshire businesses how to do business or how to start doing business in Canada to bring our products over the border and vice versa.
In Concord, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
What good is training businesses on how to sell to Canada if Canadians want nothing to do with you? And did you forget about the tariffs? To me, this sounds like a lot of effort for this delegation that's going nowhere. because the target audience, Canadian consumers, aren't being listened to. They seem to think that talking to our Canadian officials, the rest of us will just comply. Well, it doesn't work that way. Their attention and efforts should be focused on Washington, D.C., and I've said this countless times on my channel. Canada and our allies, we are responding to your actions that your president made. So you and your delegation should be going to Washington, D.C. instead. The majority of Canadians right now want nothing to do with your country, your delegations, or your plea to have us come back. We are nothing like the US, and we're not the close ally that many of you still think we are. And speaking of being nothing like the Americans, let me show you this clip of an American traveling in Vietnam.
An Aussie traveller has stepped in to help staff after an American tourist had a meltdown over a bathroom door that jams into the bed in Vietnam. The holiday blow-up has now gone viral after Queensland man Cole Lee filmed the American aggressively yelling at hotel workers.
You open up the door to go to the bathroom, it's jammed against the bed. I have to go in sideways to get into the damn bathroom. Excuse me, I'm talking, don't be rude.
In Australia, they just knock you out if you talk to someone like that.
I could go on and on and on, but it just...
Please don't, no.
Yeah.
The deadpan delivery has racked up thousands of views online, with social media users praising the Aussie for his response. We've all met a traveller like that, haven't we, at some point?
Obnoxious.
Yeah.
So obnoxious.
American travellers. They're right up there.
Definitely a different group to a lot of the more chilled out ones.
The Aussies.
Man, I gotta say I love our Australian cousins. Every Australian I've ever met has been friendly, and we know they've got our backs. So a big shout out to our Australian viewers. Now I want to be clear. I know not all US citizens are like the ones we've been talking about, and especially in the video. And if you're from the US and you're watching my channel, you're not part of that group, so please don't take offense. But we can't ignore the reality that a lot of your fellow citizens are like that guy in the video. And to be honest, it's embarrassing. I speak as a Canadian, and I'm glad I don't have to associate with people like that in my life. So to the US citizens who support my channel, thank you. You are the sane Americans who continue to give the international community some hope for your country. One last thing before I end this video, my cats. A lot of you have been asking for photos. I can't share them as it would risk my privacy. But I know many of you enjoy hearing them in the background, and for me, it's much easier than trying to edit out every single meow. Sometimes though, I see comments saying that they're annoying or that it's unprofessional. Well, thankfully, I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm just a regular Canadian making videos standing up for my own country. So if the cats bother you, I'll say sorry, and it's probably best for you to unsubscribe and move on, because these two are here to stay. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe to get this message out to more people, and help to share it with your friends as well. If you're still here and you still want to see more of my videos, check out the other ones that are showing on your screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.